Good evening, everyone. This is January 2021, Unit 5 of IEL Chemistry according to new specification. In this session, I will discuss the multiple choice questions, MCQs. If you need this paper or the marking scheme, you can leave your ID in a comment box. When alkene is added to a solution of potassium manganate 7, the purple solution turns colorless. So why the purple solution turns colorless? Because Mn7 is purple but Mn2 is colorless, and plus 7 is changes into plus 2. So how plus 7 is changes into plus 2? By taking or gaining 5 electrons. So electrons are gained, and what happens to oxidation number? Oxidation number will decrease. So the correct answer is D. Standard hydrogen electrode uses an electrode of platinum coated in a finely divided form of a metal called platinum black. So what is the purpose of this platinum black? It is used to catalyze the reaction, speed up the decomposition, as well as the conversion of iron into hydrogen gas. What is the purpose of this coating? To increase the rate of equilibrium or rate of reaction between hydrogen gas and hydrogen ion. So it is catalyze this reaction or speed up this change. It is not to provide an inert protective coating or increasing the electrical conductivity or ensure the conditions remain standard. Main purpose is to increase the rate of the decomposition of hydrogen molecule into hydrogen ion, as well as hydrogen ion can turn into hydrogen molecule. An electrochemical cell is set An electrochemical cell is set up to measure the electrode potential of a cell in which iron is changing into iron 2 and tin iron is changing into tin atom. So this one is oxidation and the other one is reduction. So what is a cell diagram? So these lines are representing the cell notation, the electrode on the left hand side and right. So what happened on the left hand side? Iron 2 changes into iron 3. So iron 2, which is solid state, turned into iron atom changes into iron 2, which is aqueous, and other side the electrolyte in the ion in the solution is tin ion, which is aqueous, and change into tin atom. So it matches with option C. The standard electrode potential for iron 2 to iron 3 is minus 0.44, and the electrode potential of a cell is 0.3. What is the standard electrode potential for tin? So according to this cell, iron is oxidized and tin is reduced, and to get the electrode potential of a cell, it is redox or reduction minus oxidation. So electrode potential of a cell is given zero point 0.3, reduction for tin we don't know, unknown, minus oxidation electrode potential is given 0.44. So minus minus is plus, so 0.3 is equals to x plus 0.44. If it is 0.44, other side it will be subtracted. So it will be zero point 0.3 minus 0.44, which will come out as 0.14. So B will be the right answer. The hydrogen oxygen fuel cell. So hydrogen is used as a fuel and hydrogen is oxidized. It can operate in both acidic and alkaline condition. What is the reaction at anode? So at anode, oxidation should happen. So oxidation means loss of electron. So either B can be answer or D, because B and D there is a loss of electron. But you can see in B it does not involve hydrogen as a fuel. So that's why fuel oxidation happen. That's why D is the right answer. Why not C or A? Because it is opposite. It's if oxidation happen at anode, but what you can see, it is gaining electrons, so it is a reduction. Which of these has the greatest number of unpaired electron in each of its atoms? So we have to write the electronic configuration. So using a periodic table, we'll write their atomic number. Chromium 24, iron 26, vanadium 23, and for manganese it is 25. So we have to arrange electrons. So it will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, because in terms of energy, 4s is having low energy, so according to Aufbau principle, electron always fill the lower energy level first. So we arrange till 20 electrons are arranged, and then we are left with 3d and 4. But what happened, because half-filled orbitals are more stable as compared to partially filled orbital, so one of the electron jumps from s orbital to d orbital. So what it will make 4s1 and 3d5. So when 4s1, this is unpaired, and 3d5 also means 5. So 5 plus 1, 6 unpaired electrons are there in chromium. Where in iron, when we write the same electronic configuration, till this point it will be same, 4s2, and then it will be, so it will be 4s2 and 3d, total are 26, so 3d6. So when we write 6 electrons in the level, so singly they will occupy in d, and there's a pair, so 4 unpaired will be there. So this is having 6 unpaired electrons, this is having 4. For manganese, 4s2 and then 3d5, so there will be 5 unpaired electrons. And for vanadium, 4s2 and 3d3, so only 3 unpaired electrons. So this is having 5 3, so which is having the greatest number? Chromium is having the highest number, because energy very close to each other for 3d and 4s. That's why the electron jumps from 4s to 3d, and half filled orbitals are more stable than compared to partially filled orbitals. Nickel is classified as transition metal. This is because for a transition metal, they should form a stable ion, stable compound with partially filled d orbital. That's a condition, because like scandium, zinc, they are d block element, but they are not transition. Have partially filled d orbital, like same case in zinc or scandium. They have d orbital electrons, but not both of them as scandium is having. But the thing is, it is not a not a transition element. So for to be a transition element, it should form a stable ion or form a stable compound with partially filled d orbital, and form a stable compound in which it has different oxidation state. That does not gives an idea, like even for sulfur it can have different oxidation state, and it can also form different stable compounds, but it is not a transition element. So C is the right answer. Platinum forms a complex, and chromium forms a complex CrCl4. What are the shapes of these complex? So for platinum, always remember, for platinum the shape of these, it will always form a square planar, and it can be cis or trans as well, depending on the position where the groups are attached. Where chromium chloride, tetrachloride, tetrahedral geometry. So it will have CrCl4 tetrahedral, where platinum always is forming the square planar. What is the bonding between the ligand and the central atoms? They both are forming a dative bond, because the formation of the complex result in a dative bonding. So both of these complexes have the dative bond with the central atom. Cobalt chloride is used as a test to check the presence of the water. Anhydrous cobalt chloride is there, which is blue in color, and if it is water is added, it will turn into pink. So anhydrous cobalt chloride is blue, and hydrated it will turn pink. That when it turns pink, it shows that the water is present. Iodide ions are oxidized by peroxo disulfate ion in aqueous solution. This reaction is catalyzed by iron 2. So if you use aqueous iron 2 ion is there. So if you are using this iron as a catalyst, so it means it should be oxidized and reduced readily or easily. So the option, iron 2 can be readily oxidized to iron 3 and then iron 3 can be reduced. So overall, before and after the reaction, we have iron 2 ion. The delocalized electron in a benzene result from overlapping of the orbital. So in, because when you write the electronic configuration, carbon is forming a bond. Carbon is forming a bond with p orbital, and due to partial overlapping of when axes are parallel, it will form a pi bond. So benzene ring, there is a p orbital involved in the formation of the pi bond. The reaction of ethene with bromine occur under normal condition, whereas reaction between benzene and bromine to form bromobenzene required heat. So both reactions can occur. So it means both reactions are thermodynamically possible, but best explanation why the difference in the reactivity, the best explanation for a difference in reactivity, that the delocalized electron in benzene. Due to presence of delocalized electron in benzene, what happened? It will become kinetically stable, means it will react at certain condition. Reaction is thermodynamically feasible, that's why the product can form. But why the product is not forming? Because the conditions are not feasible. So we can say it is kinetic, result in a kinetic barrier to intermediate formation, or a result in a kinetic stability. Both are thermodynamically reactions possible, but kinetically the reaction of benzene with bromine does not occur because it is kinetically stable. What is the name of the compound shown? So we'll count the carbon 1, 2, 3, and 4. Second position, we have a methyl group. So it should be 2 methyl and 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons of butanamide. The next question, separate 0.1 mole per dm cube aqueous solution of ammonia, butylamine, and phenylamine. So if we have phenylamine, the tendency, because of presence of the lone pair on nitrogen, it has a tendency to accept a proton. But what happened? Due to the presence of benzene ring, this proton can be attracted towards the nitrogen, it can be attracted towards the benzene ring, so it reduces the capability of nitrogen to attract the proton. That's why it will be less basic. So phenylamine is less basic or less alkaline compared to that of ammonia. So ammonia can accept proton easily. But what happened? Why butylamine is more basic? Because in butylamine, which is C4 in H9 and NH2, this carbon is electron releasing group. So when it is electron releasing group, the net negative charge on the nitrogen increase, so it can easily accept the proton, so it will become more alkaline. So phenylamine is less basic than ammonia, and ammonia is less basic than butylamine. The repeat unit of a polymer is shown because it's an addition polymer. So to know a monomer, what you will do, you will hide structure part which was linking the other with the other molecule and make a double bond. So which one it matches with? 1, 2, 3 carbon are there. So 1, 2, 3 carbon. And when we check the other options, 3 carbon and the first two, this is 4 carbon, these are 5 carbon. So only one which is having 3 carbon, that's option A. That's why A is the right answer. The repeat unit of a polymer is shown. This polymer could be, so you have to check the linkage. It contains C double bonded with O and N, so it's amide linkage, and this polymer could be both polypeptide and polyamide. To be a polypeptide, because polypeptide, when amino acid react with another, so to be an amino acid, one side it should have C double bonded with O, the carboxylic group, and another side amine group should be there. But when you check this polymer, you can clearly see that this part, one molecule is having both side amine group, another molecule both side carboxylic group. So it is not a polypeptide, it is only polyamide. So for question 15, the correct answer is D. The structure of hydrocarbon is shown. How many peaks are there? Carbon 14. First, why carbon 13? Why carbon 13 will result in a peak? Because it's having 6 protons and 7 neutrons. So this will result, there is a net magnetic field of a nucleus. So that's why it will behave, or it will affect, or affected by the external magnetic field. So when we check the carbon, like these two carbon are identical, so this will be A. These two carbons are identical, so this will be B. This one will be C. This carbon is D. And these two are identical, so both will be E. So how many peaks are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So B is the right answer, because symmetrical carbon result in a same type of peak. When a sample of a hydrocarbon is burned in oxygen, 2.64 gram of carbon dioxide and 0.81 grams of water form, what is which of these could be a molecular formula? So how we can work out the molecular formula? First, we should know the empirical formula of this compound. And how we can work out the empirical formula of the compound? We know if we have the mass of carbon dioxide, we can work out the mass of carbon in the compound, because the ratio between carbon dioxide and carbon, that is 44 is to 12. So if we have 2.64, then this will be x. This x gram will be there, which will be the mass of carbon. So 2.64 multiplied by 12 divided by 44. That is, so amount of the carbon is 0.72. And about the, using a mass of the water, we can find how much hydrogen. 18 is to 2 is the ratio. So if it is 0.81, then this will be x. So 0.81 multiplied by 2 divided by 18 will give us the mass of hydrogen, which is equals to 0.09. Then divide by atomic mass, so this will be 12, this will be 1. So 0.72 divided by 12 give us 0.06, and this is 0.09. Then divide by smallest value, 0.06 and 0.06. So this will be 1 and this will be 1.5. Whenever one of the values 1.5, 2.5, multiply all of them by 2. So this will be 2 and 3. So empirical formula is C2H3. So if empirical formula is C2H3, the molecular formula either will be same or it will be a product, like, because the value of the N, the ratio is 2 is to 3. So which molecular formula the ratio is 2 is to 3? When you check, C is the right answer. Then benzene carboxylic acid may be produced from benzene in two-step synthesis. So first benzene convert into methyl benzene, and then methyl benzene convert into carboxylic. 8.24 grams of benzene carboxylic acid was formed. What was the mass of a benzene used? So how we can work out? So in this two-stage synthesis, what we can do, we can relate the stage 1, the initial reactant, with the final product. So 78 is to 122 is the ratio between benzene and benzene carboxylic acid. So the ratio of their masses is 78 is to 120. Now we can use this ratio to work out. They mentioned we are getting 8.24 grams of that is the practical value. So if the original mass of a benzene was 3.84, so example, we can do it with all the options. Like if A was the answer, if it was 3.48 grams of benzene, then this will be X. So 3.8448, sorry, times 122 divided by 78. So that will give us 5.44 grams, but that 5.44 grams is a theoretical. But practically, the yield of first stage is 45%, or in terms of fraction, decimal 0.45. So this should be multiplied by 0.45 and then into 0.6. So times 0.45 times 0.6. So what we'll get only 1.46 gram of benzene carboxylic acid, but practically we are getting 8.24. If I check with option B, if we have 5.27 grams, so X will be 5.27 times 122, which will be equal to 642, and divided by 78 equal to 8.2. So I should get 8.2. Theoretically, I should get 8.24, but practically 0.45 and 0.6. So times 0.45 times 0.6. That is, so practically I'll only get 2.24 grams. If C was there, like 19.51 grams of benzene, then it should be 19.51 times 122 divided by 78. So the total, the value, theoretical value of mass will be 30.5. But that practically, because the yield of 0.45 and zero point 0.6, so 30 multiplied by 0.45 multiplied by 0.6, that will be equal to 8.239. So that is 8.24. So that's why C is the right answer for this. So we can simply use the ratio of the mass to work out the practical value of benzene carboxylic acid, which is produced from originally given benzene. So these are the MCQs related to January 2021 Unit 5. I will share more videos related to this paper for the remaining questions. If you have any doubt or you need any paper or any paper from this session or from past sessions, you can leave your ID in a comment box.